Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Twisters. So just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. A retired tornado chaser and meteorologist is persuaded to return to Oklahoma to work with a new team and new technologies. So let's begin with my first pro. Okay, let's get this out of the way. You may hear that some people will call this a sequel, a standalone sequel, a reboot, or what have you. All you need to know is they never officially mention any person from the first film, but instead they play homage with Easter eggs to the original Twister film. That's the first pro of the film. You do not need to see the first one to enjoy it, but if you do, then you might either enjoy by spotting Easter eggs. Also, it's a film that seems to be the original, but remastered in a way, but they do it justice. They actually took time to make it relate with the new generation and new technologies that we have. So for that, I have to say they did a good job, and it's not another cash grab. They just basically reskin and put it out there. Next pro, the cast. They did embody the whole corporate versus influencers vibe, and they added a character that judged them but later learned her lesson. Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones take front stage, but the supporting cast also plays their small part, just like in the original film where we love the original crew. And in this film, they try to make us care about them as well. So we have Anthony Ramos playing Javi, the college friend of Kate, who brings her back to chase storms. Then we meet the Wranglers, who is led by Glenn Powell, who plays Tyler. At first glance, he's a really loud and douchey character, but in his crew, he has Boone, Lily, Dexter, and Danny, who are in it to just chase storms and upload the footage onto YouTube. They gave me the same vibe as Joe's crew from the original film, and how they felt as a family when they were eating at Joe's Aunt Meg's house. They tried to make it feel the same way with the Wranglers, but before they painted them as the wild ones. But then eventually they grew on you. Next pro, the Easter eggs. I mentioned them. I will list some of them. I saw Dorothy, the container with the spheres in this film, and we see Javi using them. We also see Kate at the rodeo wearing the same outfit as Helen Hunt from the first film. We also see Tyler's truck that resembles the truck that Bill Paxton's character drove in the first film, and they are both red and Dodge Rams. There are other small nods to the film, but it's left to the audience to seek them out and find them for themselves, so I'm not going to spoil any of them, just in case you are one of the fans from the original film and wants to go see the new one. Next pro, how the director wanted this to be filmed in Kodak 35mm film, just like the first original movie was. I don't know much about film versus digital, but I have seen videos that really say that film gets brighter colors and lends better to working with CGI in post-production versus digital, which gets a little complicated and technical, which goes over my head. I just appreciate that the love for the 35mm is still alive. Now let's move on to the cons. If you have seen the original, then you might be of two thoughts. It's a retelling of the original, but just revamping it into modern times, or you might like it because it recalls things from the first film that you also really like. But if you do, then you might also think that this is just a reskinned version, and I can't convince you otherwise, because there's a lot of things that seem similar, and it just basically revamped and reskinned and just put out there to just please the fans. So that is why I added this in the con side. Next con, I really felt that Javi was going after Kate, but she never noticed. Then Kyler comes in by pulling up and saying, if you feel it, chase it. I would have enjoyed it if they actually had a rivalry between Javi and Tyler for Kate's love, and they could have caused Javi to do something stupid that gets Kate in a dangerous situation, and for him to basically go and try to save her on his own, but then Tyler comes in and joins them, and together they save her. Then you would have Javi taking a step back and letting him know she's all yours, and then he goes back to chasing tornadoes. Next con. Okay, I saw how much damage the tornadoes were doing by taking trees and signs and flinging them everywhere, and the winds were high speed. They even mentioned some of the speeds. So why, if Taylor is driving a truck with normal windshield, it never gets hit or cracked? I have seen cars driving 65 miles an hour on the highway, and a small rock cracks the windshield. If you really wanted to sell this, then you should have made his truck seem reinforced, like in a backyard situation with just things that were laying around from a junkyard. Why not add a shield that he would deploy for the windows and the windshield, just like the auger that digs into the ground by itself that was homemade? Just do something to sell it. Also, he is driving the Dodge that is suited for him, but then they have the camper right behind him with no reinforcement and no horsepower. I get the idea that they wanted to go with they are normal people with no budget, and they're not like the big shot guys who have lots of money, but still they're taking risks and people's lives are at risk just following Taylor. But mind you, they do stay somewhat back, but man, just by giving them a reinforcement camper or something that looks like it's not going to tip over when a cow hits it would have been better than nothing. Next con, Kate's character, the tornado whisperer. The film tries to sell that more than once in her job when the guy says, look at this, it's bad weather, let's call it in as an emergency. Then his boss comes in and says, hold on, and tells Kate to come look at it. And she says, yeah, it's nothing to worry about. Like, dude, it might be cool, but I can hear the guy cursing her under his breath as she says there's nothing to worry about. There are times when she is just looking at a storm and it's like a bullet time scene and she sees it. We don't know what it is, but she has it and she can see it. Why can't you just be a person who just gets the readings, looks at the sky, and puts it together with science? Because I know also Tyler, he went to school for this and he is also saying the same things as Kate, but not for seeing it. I would have liked it if it all came from experience that she had when she was in her college years and she has notes based on different sightings, different readings, and that's what she goes off of, experiences, and not this superpower kind of feel that she gets by just tapping into the storm and seeing it. That really didn't sell it for me. So my grade for this film is going to be a 7 out of 10. So if you saw the first one, you will like it, or you might feel that it was a reskin story. But if you didn't see the first one, don't worry. You don't have to see it to enjoy this film. Just go in and watch it. There's no prep work in this. As far as what the first film had, it's all here and you will not be bored. The story is about tornadoes and the damage it causes, and yes, there is a goal that Kate wants to do or achieve, but we don't see it happen or form in this film. We just see her stay with Tyler in a sort of love conquers tornadoes, I guess, kind of message. But I do feel like Bruce Dickinson here, and I wanted more flying cowbells. So that does it for this review of Twisters. Please join us next time where we're going to review Trap.
You know, the butcher, the freaking nut job that goes around just chopping people up. Well, the feds or whatever heard that he's gonna be here today, so they set up a trap for him.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.